NTSB is holding a hearing in Washington right now on the deadly mid-air collision between a Black Hawk helicopter and an American Airlines jet in Washington, D.C. The hearing will try to determine what went wrong back on January 29th in that incident that killed 67 people. The NTSB chairwoman addressed the families of the victims in her opening remarks.
On behalf of the entire agency, we are so sorry for your loss. We wish we would have met you in different circumstances, but please know that we are working diligently to make sure we know what occurred, how it occurred, and to prevent it from ever happening again.
CBS News senior transportation correspondent Kris Van Cleave is following this hearing for us. Kris, thank you for your time today. What are you hearing there, and what is your takeaway so far from this ongoing hearing?
Well, the hearing is really just getting underway. It's the first of 3 days of panels. The morning has been focused on the Black Hawk helicopter and some of the equipment, the altimeters on board that tell the pilots how high they are. There's some indications that the information fed to the pilots might not have been accurate, making the pilots think they were lower than they actually were. So that's certainly one of the focuses of this investigation based on the questions that are being asked. The hearing started, though, with an 11-minute animation of the final moments of these two flights that ended with a new video of the moment of impact, where perhaps the clearest view we have seen of these final moments. That was emotional for many of the family members of the people that were on those aircraft that are in the crowd here today watching this hearing. You could hear some audible reactions when that video was played. Basically what you see there, it's taken from a runway camera at Washington Reagan Airport. You see the plane coming into land, and then out of the left side of the screen, you see this helicopter on a collision course. It is certainly a stark reminder of the 67 people who died that January night.
Yeah, and I'm sure that must have been very difficult for those families. And speaking of the families of those victims, what are they demanding right now from the NTSB?
Well, it's important to note that the National Transportation Safety Board can only conduct an investigation and make recommendations. They can't set policy, they can't mandate policy. So the demands from the family are more focused on the Army and the FAA. What they would very much like to see are Inspector General investigations into the FAA and the Army about the airspace around Reagan National Airport, and basically the Army's safety culture around the aviation unit that was operating. They've also advocated, as have members of Capitol Hill now, announced legislation to require some flight tracking technology that was installed on that Black Hawk but wasn't transmitting to be required for all aircraft. That would make aircraft easier to detect by other aircraft and for air traffic control to know more precisely where aircraft are.
All right, Kris Van Cleave, thank you so much for your reporting.